When was a narcissist in your life humbled to their core? I worked at this marketing agency for 3 years when they hired this new guy named Blake as our team lead. This dude walked in on day one acting like he already owned the place. Designer clothes, expensive watch, kept talking about how he'd revolutionized his last company. Within the first week, he started taking credit for stuff we'd been working on for months. He'd interrupt everyone in meetings, call our ideas basic, and then repeat the exact same thing but louder. The worst part was how he treated Lisa, our graphic designer. She'd been there longer than anyone but Blake would talk to her like she was his personal assistant. Lisa, get me coffee. Lisa, fix this font. Lisa, stay late to redo this whole campaign because I changed my mind. She never complained, but I could tell it was eating at her. Blake also had this habit of name-dropping constantly, always bragging about his college friends who worked at Google or how he personally knew some CEO. He'd show up late to everything and blame traffic, then spend 20 minutes telling us about his weekend boat trip or whatever. 3 months in, our biggest client wanted to meet the team behind their new campaign. Blake immediately volunteered to present, even though Lisa had designed everything and I'd written all the copy. The morning of the presentation, Blake shows up wearing this ridiculous bright yellow suit, talking about how he was gonna blow their minds. But here's the thing none of us knew. Lisa's cousin actually worked at this client's company, in accounting, and she'd heard some interesting things about Blake's supposed work history. Turns out his big revolutionary campaign at his last job, complete lie. He'd been an intern who got fired for stealing ideas. The presentation started normal enough. Blake did his usual flashy intro, talking about his vision and his creative process. But then the client's marketing director asked a simple question about the color psychology behind Lisa's design choices. Blake froze, started rambling about synergy and brand alignment without actually answering. That's when Lisa spoke up. She calmly explained her actual reasoning, the research she'd done, the A/B testing results. The client was impressed. Then they asked Blake about the copywriting strategy. Again, he had no clue. Just started making stuff up about emotional triggers and conversion optimization. I had to jump in and explain the real strategy behind the headlines and the demographic research. The client kept asking Blake direct questions and he kept fumbling. His face was getting redder by the minute. Finally, the marketing director looked straight at Blake and said, "So what exactly did you contribute to this campaign?" Dead silence. Blake stammered something about leadership and overseeing the vision. The director smiled and said, "Funny, because my cousin who works here says you used to be an intern at Morrison & Associates, and they fired you for plagiarism." Blake went white, started denying everything, saying it was mistaken identity, that he'd never even heard of Morrison & Associates. But the director pulled out her phone and showed him a photo. It was Blake at some company party with Morrison & Associates intern program in the background. The meeting ended real quick after that. Our CEO was furious. Not just about the lying, but about how badly Blake had represented the company. The client almost pulled their contract. Blake got fired that same day. But the best part? They promoted Lisa to creative director. The whole office celebrated when Blake packed up his stupid motivational posters and walked out.